Can you spot the hidden secret in this scene? What about this one? Well, I spent over 40 hours rewatching every season of Demon Slayer at 0.25 times speed and found some of the crazy secrets you probably missed. For example, if we go all the way back to season 1 and pause at exactly this scene where we can see all of the Hashiras, you'll notice they all have gold-colored buttons. This seems fine at first, but if you take a good look at Tanjiro's and the other Demon Slayers, they all have silver-colored buttons. This is a cool detail made by the animators to help differentiate a normal Demon Slayer from a Hashira. But an even cooler detail happens in the opening of season 1. If you pause at exactly 1 minute and 13 seconds, you'll notice a picture of all the Hashiras with their faces blurred out, except for Gyu's, which is clear. However, in episode 15, Shinobu's face becomes visible as she is introduced. The same thing happens in episode 22 with Rengoku, Mitsuri, Gyome, Muichiro, and Tengen, getting their faces revealed, and finally in episode 23, all the Hashira's faces are fully visible. But that's not the only secret hidden in this opening, cause if you pause at this exact scene, you'll notice a shot of all the upper moons subtly hidden in the background. Hantengu, Akaza, Kokushibo, Doma, Daki, and Gyoko. This was a massive spoiler cleverly planted by the animators that most fans probably missed. Now, if you only watch the Japanese version of Demon Slayer, you'd probably never notice this huge change in Tanjiro's earrings, cause in the Chinese version, the design of his earrings are completely different from the Japanese version. This change was made due to the historical conflict between China and Japan. While watching season 1 at 0.25 times speed, I noticed a strange detail. If you go all the way back to episode 3, when Tanjiro slices a boulder, you can spot a peculiar letter written on it. After some research, I found out that this letter resembles the Japanese symbol for courage. Moving on, let's talk about this huge detail from before the final selection arc. Right before Tanjiro sets off to the exams, Urokodaki gives him a mask to ward off bad luck. If you look closely at the mask, you'll notice a sun with sun rays on the top right corner. This could suggest that Urokodaki knew all along that Tanjiro was a sun breath user and might have suspected his connection to the legendary Demon Slayer, Yorichi. Although these secrets were tough to spot, that was just the first level. Now, we're moving into even more insane secrets hidden in the Mugen Train movie that will blow your mind. Starting with this scene from the beginning of the movie, when Tanjiro is entering the train. If you pause at this exact moment, you'll notice a girl in the background with the same hair color, hairstyle, and kimono as human Nezuko. But that's not all, because seconds later, if you look even closer, you can spot a mother and daughter who look identical to Tanjiro's mom and younger sister, Hanako. While watching the movie at 0.25 times speed, I couldn't help but notice this huge detail. In the scene where Rengoku fights those two demons, it turns out that they aren't actually real. After the train conductor punched their tickets, Enmu's blood demon art was activated, meaning the demons that Rengoku killed right after this weren't real and were actually a part of his dream. Which is just crazy! But an even crazier detail happens in this scene. When this kid enters Tanjiro's dream, he sees 6 little spirits guiding him to Tanjiro's core. These spirits aren't random, as they actually represent Tanjiro's dead family, his mom, his 4 younger siblings, and his dad. But that's not the only secret hidden in the scene. Turns out, it was actually inspired by this opening intro scene of an anime titled Tokyo Ghoul, which is such a super cool detail added by the animators. Moving on to an even cooler detail. While Tanjiro is about to kill Enmu, he uses one of his sun-breathing forms called Clear Blue Sky. Right after this, for a brief moment, the sky turns blue, even though it's night outside. Man, this level of detail is on a whole new level. During Akaza's fight with Rengoku, when he uses his blood demon art Compass Needle, when you slow this scene down, you'll notice something interesting. It doesn't actually look like a compass. Instead, it resembles a snowflake. Why is that? Well, it turns out his blood demon art is subconsciously modeled after the snowflake hairpin his fiance used to wear. Now that is true love. And with that, we are done with the secrets hidden in the Mugen Train. Let's move on to the mind-blowing secrets hidden in the second season. For instance, in the opening of Demon Slayer Season 2, if you slow it down to 0.25 times speed and pause at exactly 24 seconds, you can spot one of the building owners that Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu infiltrate later in the series. Another owner appears 2 seconds later, and the final owner can be seen in the background 3 seconds after that. But that's not the only hidden detail in this opening. If you pause at, you will notice a poster featuring Tengen and Tanjiro. Interestingly enough, there's a theory suggesting that characters facing left are the ones who survive their battles, while those facing right are the ones who meet their end. This is evident in the Mugen Train, where Rengoku is shown facing the right and ends up as a donut. Looking closely at the Season 2 poster, you'll notice Tengen's left arm is angled towards the right, foreshadowing the arm he loses several episodes later. During Gyutaro's battle with the Demon Slayers, after effortlessly defeating them, he starts mocking Tanjiro, calling him all sorts of names. Worm, dimwit, sad sack, coward, and good for nothing. These insults aren't random. As the next episode reveals, they are the exact same words he was often called during his human life. While watching Tanjiro's fight with Ducky at 0.25 times speed, I noticed this crazy detail. During the fight, Tanjiro slices off one of Ducky's legs, and later she regenerates it. However, this is really strange considering she also regenerates her clothes with it. Some fans theorize that Ducky's clothes are probably made from her blood demon art. But if we go all the way back to season 1 and look at the scene where Nezuko fights Susamaru, we see her leg get completely blown off. However, when she saves Yushiro, her leg has regenerated along with her clothes, which shouldn't be possible. This might actually be a mistake by the animation staff. Before we move into the next level, if you're having a great time so far and want to be entered in our video shoutout giveaway, simply subscribe and comment "I subbed" and you'll be entered. This shoutout giveaway goes to @It'sShadowZar. Thanks for being part of the family. Let's get back to even crazier secrets. While watching Sanemi's backstory at 0.25 times speed, if you pause at this exact moment, you'll notice a girl hidden in the background. After doing some research, I discovered that this might actually be Gyu's late sister, as they both share the exact same hairpin, hairstyle, and clothes. During this scene where Muichiro meets Nezuko and Tanjiro while they're asleep, if you look closely beside Muichiro, you'll notice some colored papers and origami. It turns out Muichiro is an expert at making origami, so he likely made them while waiting for Tanjiro and Nezuko to wake up. At the beginning of season 3, we see all the upper moons gather for a meeting with Muzan. While waiting, things get heated between Akaza and Doma, leading Akaza to destroy Doma's chin with a punch. If you watch Doma's regeneration at 0.25 times speed, you'll notice just how detailed it is. You can see bones, tissues, and flesh regenerate simultaneously. Man, this level of animation is insane. However, that's not the only crazy thing about this scene. In the Chinese version, all the blood in this scene was completely removed, which is just crazy. Something even crazier happened during Tanjiro's fight with the fourth upper moon, Hantengu. While trying to cut his head off, Tanjiro does something insane. If you pause at this exact moment, you'll notice he used thunder breathing. This is wild because he's the first person to use 3 separate breathing styles, and it also suggests that Tanjiro might be capable of mastering every other breathing style, as they're all extensions of the original breathing form, sun breathing. And now we have finally reached the 5th level, and prepare to get your mind blown by the insane secrets I found in the 4th season. For example, during the ending credits of the 4th season, there's a symbolic scene where Muzan steps over 5 droplets of blood, representing the tragic fate of Tanjiro's 4 siblings and his mother. What's really interesting is that 1 drop remains untouched, symbolizing Nezuko's survival and ongoing struggle, which is just an amazing detail most fans probably missed. Speaking of fans, I bet you didn't notice the detail about the Hashiras. In the first episode of the Hashira training arc, during their meeting, you can see their swords placed on their right side, indicating they're at peace with one another. Interestingly, this is a reference to the traditional samurai etiquette in Japan, where placing the sword on the right side was a gesture of peace. However, whenever their swords are placed on their left side, it means they're on guard or ready for battle. But that's not the only secret hidden in the first episode. If you skip to the scene where Tanjiro gets his new sword, you'll notice something interesting about the sheath. It's the same one Rengoku used. However, if you look even closer, you'll see that Tanjiro's sheath is facing backwards, unlike Rengoku's, which is facing forward. During the final episode of the 4th season, if you slow down the scene where everyone enters the Infinity Castle, you'll notice a huge secret hidden in the background. Certain characters are shown in yellow light, symbolizing those who survive, while the ones shown in red light represent those who die. Man, the animators really didn't have to spoil the show like that. Now those are some insane secrets, but if you want to see something even more insane, then check out this video. What are you waiting for? Click it!